Morning all. Oh, it's lesson 12 of our learning resources, functional movement. Now, functional movement is things we do in our daily function. And there's dominantly 5, 6 functional movements we get. And squat, lunge, twist, and the pull and the push. They normally always compound exercises. Now, that's one of the principles we had to read through yesterday. If we look at them, nice explanation. Here on this little video,
to make exercises functional, we'll look at compound, isolated, open chain, and closed chain exercises.
Now, what we must remember with compound exercises, there's normally more than one thing involved. So there will be like the hip, the knee, and the ankle joint, 3 components and multiple muscle usage. With the isolating one, it's normally just one joint involved or one muscle involved. Open chain and closed chain. Normally with the open chain, the distal component is open. I'll explain it as we go through the literature as well. In a closed chain, normally the distant component can be the hand or the foot is on a solid surface like the earth or the leg press machine's plate. Now, if we go a little bit further down, they explain to us now what is a compound exercise. It's a movement or exercise that uses several joints, muscles, and movements at the same time. This is basically how our body works the whole time. It works multiple joints, multiple muscles, where the isolating components is literally use one muscle or aspect of the joint. Now, if we look at a compound, let's say the squat here, we've got the hip joint, the knee joint, the ankle joint. We've got here the quadriceps, the glutes, a lot of muscles working. So this is a compound exercise. The same will be a lunge or a push-up. They'll all be compound, using a lot of different joints. Your isolating exercises will be like a bicep curl or leg curls or leg extensions or front raises. Now, when it comes to open and closed chain, watch out for Google because you're going to get different answers. The distal component, proximal, closer to the middle, distal, away. The distal component, her feet, are free moving. So an open chain exercise is performed when neither the hands nor the foot are on a fixed object. So your distal component is away. Here you can see her hands are on a fixed object that cannot move, but we're doing a leg exercise, so we're looking at the feet. Open chain training, which is also generally isolated. Now, our body does not work in this sense, so it's not always the best type of functional training, but there's definitely a place for it. With your closed chain exercises, we can see the distal component here, the hands and the feet are on a fixed surface on the floor, so they cannot move. So that's a closed chain exercise. We can always now work and make it harder due to levers and line of gravity and center of gravity. If we look at functional training, normally this is a closed chain exercise. That distal component, the feet are on a fixed surface. Okay, so as the closed chain exercise, your functional thing, and they normally compound. Here we get the hip, the knee, and the ankle joint working. What they just tell me here, compound versus isolating. In my profession, we normally use isolating exercises more in the sense of rehabilitation where there's a muscle imbalance. But if you only train isolated, you sometimes overtrain certain muscle groups and you impair the balance of your muscles, the strength components of them. Now, if we compare to exercise compound versus isolating, you'll see they are used there, the squat and the leg extension. As you perform the squat, the quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes are active. Definitely. Okay. What do they say? Correct, because there are multiple joints. If we look at the next one, answer true or false. Leg extension. Now we know leg extension, flexion, extension of the knee joint, so that's one joint. The quadriceps are isolated. Definitely, with more work being done by the postural muscles. Answer true or false. In leg extension, the quadriceps are isolated, with more work being done by the postural muscles. If you think about leg extensions, you see that in a machine. So the machine actually takes over your stability. So I will say this is actually false. What did I say? Correct. The quadriceps are isolated. That's correct. But the body are in a machine that keeps the posture in a certain sense. And that's normally with machine work. You know, that's not functional training because the machine helps you with stability, helps you with posture. Let's look at, I think there's one more. Answer true or false. Open chain exercises. We know open chain, the distal component, which is normally the hands or the feet, are loose, are considered compound exercises. We know dominantly open chain exercises are isolating exercises. Let's see if I'm correct. Right. One more. Do a lunge. Now, if we do the lunge, we know there's an up and a down phase according to the jam theory of anatomical analysis. We say this example is a compound or isolate. We know now it's compound because it's the hip, the knee, and the ankle joint. We also know it's closed chain because the distal components, your feet, are stable on the floor. So this is definitely a compound. Okay, one more. Oh, nicely done. Okay, I'm not going to start over. This is my boss from Cape Town, Anelma. She's doing a seated leg extension. Is this an isolated or a compound? Let's have a look.
Here Anelma is doing a seated leg extension.
That one is just stabilizing. Okay, so this will definitely be an isolating exercise. Let's see, and there's one more. Anelma is doing here bent over row for one arm bent over row. Now, if we look at this action, you can see this elbow and your glenohumeral joint working at the same time. Left knee elbow flexion, so the biceps will be working, and then with the shoulder, there's extension. So there's more than one joint involved, so it's compound. This is also an open chain. Can you see there's distal component, distal, proximal. Distal is open. So this is a compound open chain exercise. Not all compounds are closed chain and not isolated exercises are open chain. Here we can clearly see, look at the distal component, it's free hanging. Okay, she's not doing a squat or a lunge, so we don't look at the feet. The distal component here is the weight. So it's a compound. Guys, that's it. We're wrapping up this course and marking those things of yours. So we will probably have to start doing revision and see if we can't open some chat groups and see if you can't mark your own work or somebody else's work. Have a nice day. I'll chat to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.